Okay. July 1st, 2026, City Council meeting for the City of Gerhard is called to order. Are there any conflicts of interest?
No.
No. We have Dana Gould, who's not present because of personal reasons. Approval of minutes. We have the June 3rd, 2026 work session.
Motion to approve.
Second. There's a second. Is there any? Okay.
No, wait.
Is there any corrections?
No corrections, just a question. Will we have a work session on this in July?
On
On the NCLC.
On the NCLC, probably, although we were attempting to go for prior to the July meeting, which is today,
Right.
and we weren't able to get there. So we're going to pull out the MOU and the other documents. The attorney review everything. He hasn't done that yet because I haven't not given it to him yet. And then we'll plan the next steps. So we'll look at a work session that'll work for NCLC and the City of Gerhard, and a review of those documents by our attorney, and I'll report back to you.
Can you get those to him, please?
We'll balance it with what we're working on, but yeah, we're working on that. That's the intention, is to get that all done potentially in July, but I'm not sure about a work session. I got to work with them on that.
Okay. We'll see what we can do.
We need to.
Yes, we do. Any other questions or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You said aye, right, Preston?
I did.
I didn't hear it. Okay, so moving on, regular meeting of the City Council for Wednesday, June 3rd. Meeting minutes. Is there a correction? Oh, wait.
Move to approve
Thank
the
you.
minutes from the regular meeting of City Council Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. Second.
Okay, any discussion, any correction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on, we're going to the Planning Commission report, and my paperwork seems to be a little out of order.
No, there
You
is
don't have any.
The meeting was canceled.
See. Being gone, I didn't know that. So, all right, mayor's report. I went to the work session. I went to another work session yesterday, and I'm still catching up. That's about all I've got as far as mayor's report. Paulina, what's your councilor report like?
I did prep with Chad on the work session for yesterday. I met with the downtown business owner, had some questions about the C1 district. I met with residents about various things, went to the Clatsop County Housing Task Force meeting and checked in on the Women's Who Net, Women's Ham Operators Net on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock a couple of times.
Wow.
All I have to report.
Great. Sharon, do you have something?
I took a little time away from city business because I was tired. But I wanted to share something that happened to me the other day. I was walking down Summit with my dogs, and a lady came out from one of the houses and came over and started chatting with me. And she told me that it was her house. This is a house that's recently been vacated because somebody died who was renting the house. And she's the owner of the house, and she's the granddaughter of the person who built the house. And so the house has been in her family for a number of decades. And she wanted to, she's on the west side of Summit, the house is, and she wanted to profusely thank me, which I was kind of shocked, for the Second Street property, because if all the trees had been cut down that were supposed to be cut down on the Second Street property, it would have completely changed the wind dynamics for the houses over on Summit. And she knows that, and she is extremely grateful that we did what we did. So I just wanted to share that story with y'all.
Thank you. Preston.
The only thing I can say is I've met with a number of residents here in the city of Earhart, and they're just wondering what direction we're headed.
What would you tell them?
Someone's working on it.
And is that city direction or just general direction?
City direction.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And since David's not here, we're gonna move right into the chief of police.
Good evening. So stats real quick, we had 147 calls for service in June. That puts this year's total around 650. Kind of move on, make it quick with the 4th of July coming up. So we have been having the meetings, all the agencies are on board here. I think I mentioned state police is bringing in troopers from the metro area to work the highways, so the local troopers can kind of focus on enforcement, maybe the beach or the cities that are affected by this. Seaside is also getting the MRT team, which is just a response team on bicycles. They usually get them, but they're gonna have those there as well. So, and we'll see how their new fireworks ordinance goes. But the operation plans are done. We will be working overtime. There's gonna be 2 officers on Friday, all 3 of us, all hands on deck Saturday, and then 2 officers on Sunday for traffic, just because everybody's gonna be a mass exodus. So we're caught up, we're ready to go. Every time this year, about this time of year, I start wanting to rip the Band-Aid off and let's just get it over with kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes, but we're proactive, we're doing everything we can. If you have any questions about the holiday or anything else, I will be leaving after this today, so.
What do you?
Tonight.
Oh, wait,
No,
yeah. Thank
I'll be
you.
leaving the meeting after this.
Yeah, no, that's quite all right. No, I don't have anyone else?
That's what we're leaving for the 4th of July.
No, just in time. What, did you know tomorrow makes my 3rd anniversary? I started on July 2nd, 2023, so 3 years.
Good way to go.
Thank you, sir.
We like what you've done so far.
I appreciate
Keep it up.
Y'all have a good night.
Just
You too.
some kudos to you guys. You guys have really worked hard on this in the 4th of July. Over the last 3 years, you've put together a really nice system that we're following. We're doing everything we can. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of calamity here and there in town. But I'm really proud of what the fire department and what the police department has done to get ready for this, and our public works staff for setting up and getting ready to go. We'll be putting out cones and things ready for the 4th of July parade, street dance and all that over the next couple of days. So there's some good celebrating to be had. But again, I'm very proud of you guys for the work you've done, and I think you've done a great job.
Thank you. It's work in progress. You will learn and do something different next year.
All right.
See you, Marcy.
Thank you.
y'all. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, we'll go to the chief of the fire department.
Thank you. June, we had 55 total calls, 24 in the city, 27 in the district. We sent out aid 4 times. Once to Warrenton, once to Astoria, structure fires each of those, went to Seaside twice. Once they had a big MVA, they needed lots of extra manpower, and once I was on vacation, it was a 3rd call, right? They needed manpower for a call on Lewis Park Road. We received aid once, Seaside ambulance had to transport someone because medics wasn't available. Which is standard, medics gets taxed, Seaside ambulance comes over and takes care of transport. Other than that, we're also just doing everything for July 4th. Last year, we had about 11 volunteer firefighters put in a 20-hour day that day. We had 55 calls last year. We got the OSFM grant again this year, so whatever staff I have will be put on payroll that day as well, just like last year, stuff from there. We'll be here Hank and I will be here about 7:30 in the morning, we'll leave around 3 a.m., which is what we did last year. So, other than that, we're just getting ready for the fun that'll happen this week.
Great, thank you very much.
I have a question for you. Do you guys go down onto the beach?
Yeah, until dusk, once dusk hits, I pull all resources out of the sand. Yeah,
I just was
it's
just,
hard.
I was just curious, how, do you know by any chance? Like until what time there's people like
On the beach,
running around?
until about 1:30. We go down, we put out a lot of campfires on the beach afterwards. If we don't, we get called to them, or if Embercast does get pushed out, we have to just go put them out. So that was a decent amount of our calls last year was campfires, and people are down there until about 1:30.
Thanks.
We patrol our dune, our fire break in the dunes. So if a fire gets in the dunes, the goal is that that fire trail is in there to stop it, and then we have access in through there. We patrol that, which goes from the Neocotchee River all the way to the north end of Pinehurst. We don't go through Surf Pines because those are private properties. So our dune trail goes through that. So we patrol that once the parade and everything's over, all afternoon, evening, and we go on the beach here and there. The trails that like homeowners have that go out to the beach, our side by side will go on those and stop at the first ridge just to kind of get eyes and stuff. But once dusk hits, everything's off and we're back here and it's all responsive and set up preparation.
Is that, are you in a vehicle when you're doing that? Or
Our side by side,
the
and then
little
the
tiny one?
Unimog. Our biggest one, our smallest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in both of those. Doing what we can.
Thanks.
Kicking people out of the dunes is a lot of what we do. Doing stuff they shouldn't, hiding in the dunes, different things, which if that's what it takes to save the dunes, then I'll take it.
Right.
One of the specialties to get a fire hazard, we have a lot of equipment for wildland firefighting
Yeah.
because of our dunes and things like that over there. These guys are trained up on it, and we're relied upon by other departments because of that. And so, it's a good thing. I remember last year, got a couple kids out there,
Yeah.
start some fires.
Yep. Hiding, lighting fireworks, trying to get away from people and stuff.
We're able to chase them out for that fire, so
Yeah.
the system works really well.
Wait,
Yeah.
they were trying to start fires in the dune.
Fireworks,
Fireworks.
trying to light fireworks and hide in the dunes. We kick people out of the dunes all the time. Sometimes they have a little campfire. They try to like this and they're saying, yeah, sometimes we're going to the bathroom in the dunes or any other stuff they shouldn't. But we kick people out of the dunes all the time. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, happy for it.
good luck.
2 paid guys and how many volunteers?
24, 23.
Yeah. Yeah, and Cannon Beach just to do the same thing. I mean, they're paid for a fire department now. They have 12 paid firefighters for 100 less calls a year than what we're doing. These guys are doing it too, so I'm very,
And then you have 4 volunteers.
No fireworks.
and no fireworks.
All right, are
Thank
you
you.
guys heading out too?
Yeah,
Good for you.
my drill's starting. No, not heading out. I got drill starting and we're driving the fire trail tonight to make sure we know the plan. Getting prepped and ready.
Sure.
So that's what we're heading to.
Practice.
All right, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hank.
Master of money.
So just a quick reminder that when you're reviewing the financial revenue and expenditures report, that income is also known as revenue. And that's on pages 1 and 2. Anything over 100% in the percent column means that the city has collected more revenue in that account than was anticipated or budgeted, which is a good thing. And overall, the city has collected 85.9% of the budgeted revenues amounts. So what we budgeted, we collected about 85.9%. I think compared to last year, I think last year was like 93.9%. So we're down just a little bit, but nothing alarmingly. Remember that in expenses, which is also known as expenditures, they're primarily pages 3 through 11. That is what we have spent. And so anything over 100% means that the city spent more than was budgeted, which means that city staff should be monitoring and evaluating why the individual accounts are over. They get these reports monthly and they're supposed to be monitoring them. Just remember that as a side note, that budget expenditures are approved in appropriations. So when we approve the budget, we approve them in categories. So we approve them in the 3 categories of personnel services, materials and services, and capital outlay, which means that the individual accounts in those categories can be over 100%, but the total cannot be. So that's what we look for. And thanks to the approval of the budget appropriation transfer that we did at the beginning of the month, because we did have a couple of accounts that were over and we were allowed to do a resolution, we are in compliance with our budget.
So can I just ask?
Absolutely.
So it looks like the highest over the budget was the fuel vehicle maintenance 10-1249. Is that
Police.
112?
So that, there could be other ones, that might be the highest, then, no, there's another one that's higher, in medical examinations, but yeah, so that just means that when we put the budget together, we didn't know how much, we don't know how much fuel is going to be, and they could have gone to a conference, or they could have had to go up to court at Clatsop County more, or they could be patrolling more, there are lots of reasons of why it could be over, that's why we just try to make sure that they're watching that, so that we know that's something that we need to look at. For the
Yes, sorry, I
next
didn't make it to the other page. It looks like the accident insurance was quite a bit over also.
And medical examinations, sometimes when you get new volunteers and new firefighter employees, they have to go through get the medical examination and increases things, so. It's just a good thing to look at. Our department head should be looking at them regularly and evaluating why. A lot of times it's because something happened that was unexpected. So it's not necessarily alarming. In monthly revenues, the city received its annual Gerhart Rural Fire Protection District agreement payment of $266,502 in account 100018. The city values that partnership that allows Gerhart Fire Department to provide essential fire prevention, protection, suppression aid, and emergency medical response to that service area. The building department received payment in account 400007 miscellaneous for the city's water department for providing water support services directly related to property development. So we do have a building department, which is its own special fund. And so they do provide some water services. So they help coordinate any water activity. They help with Mark. They do permitting. They collect funds. They do infrastructure stuff. And so we keep track of that and invoice the water department each year for that. In expenditures, the city has required budget legal notices that had to be published in 1042 and 5043. Quarterly payments in 101360 to the Gerhart Volunteer Fire Department for volunteer gas and clothing reimbursements. Engineering costs in 3072 for a water project on Hilla Lane. And payment in 7199 for the water meter replacement project, which hopefully is now complete, and hopefully within the next couple cycles, we will be electronically reading our own meters. Budgeted transfers were made. There were 2 transfers from the water operating fund, which included $40,000 to the water reserve fund and $75,000 to the $7,500 to the Public Works Equipment Reserve Fund. The water operating fund is, all water generated revenue, and those 2 reserve funds are specifically for water related things, infrastructure, equipment, that type of stuff. There were 3 transfers from the State Revenue Sharing Fund, which included $2,500 to the Police Car Reserve Fund, $2,500 to the Fire Apparatus Reserve Fund, and $2,500 to the Building Reserve Fund. With the end of the fiscal year, I am relieved to announce that the city's general fund ending fund balance is higher than we anticipated. City staff has been diligently watching expenditures and trying to conserve whenever possible, and those efforts have shown in the numbers. We budgeted the carry forward amount to be 207,000, and it will be closer to 260. So that translates into entering the new fiscal year with more resources than we had originally thought. Unfortunately, the water operating fund's ending fund balance will fall a little bit short. The goal was 205,000, but it'll be short about 14,000, I think. And although it's still within adequate parameters, it does mean that the water operating fund starts the fiscal year with fewer resources than we expected. So not alarming, but already not meeting our target. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Can I,
Yeah, please.
we had a really busy, the Leonard Brockton was paid more than usual, like 17,000.
Yeah, so it all depends on how much permits come in. And we've had a couple
So it's
of
busy.
larger permits, 2 really good months.
What percentage, what are the permits? What's the-
He gets 75% of every permit that comes in.
And we get 25. And what's the percentage, if you're building $1 million house, what's the percentage?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how many fixtures you have, or how many bathrooms you have, how many square feet you have, how many elements you have. So they vary. I mean, I see them for $7,000 and then I see them for 2,000.
And is that a state controlled thing or?
State controlled in the sense where we enter them all into a cella and that you have to have criteria for what you charge, but I think it's individually set by each city. So our rates will not be the same as another city's rates.
Interesting.
Or
So
fees.
hopefully we'll take a look at that, right?
Yes,
Already
hopefully
began.
we will.
And then the other question I had was the, page 37. It was the engineering.
Yes, is that the Hillala?
Is that what
Is it
that was?
8,000? Was it the $8,000 one?
It was the Topex.
Yes.
8,875.
And I'm not in the inner,
I can answer any questions you have about that or give you a quick synopsis of what that's all about.
Was it just Hillilla or is it?
Just Hill
also the-
Lane, that is one of the major upgrades that the city needed to make. That's in our water master plan. The first upgrade was at the Gearhart Loop and Marion connection that we did a few years ago. This is the second most important, which is to connect the reservoir to the highway at that location. And that will help increase pressures in that area, increase fire flow in that area. And it was identified years ago. And so we're paying a consultant to give us the plan for how to do that so we can go out to bid.
Can I say something about Leonard?
Well, Mayor, sorry.
Your heart is really fortunate to have Leonard here as a building official. I mean, the county to find a building official is very, very difficult. And for somebody of Leonard's quality and expertise to come all the way from Tillamook up here to be our building official we're really, really fortunate. Seaside goes through building officials, Warrenton goes through building officials, Astoria goes through building officials. And the county and the state can't keep up. And the people that have got to that point where they're top dog, they're not wanting to go any further. The politics of it is just absolutely unbearable. So we are really fortunate. Whatever we pay him, he's well worth it.
Any other? Okay. Chad Jacobs, city attorney.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good to see you all. First, I just want to apologize for not having been around much lately. It's been a really hectic time in our office, but the good news is you've gotten some exposure to other attorneys in our office, and that's pretty normal in how we operate. In that we, have attorneys in our office each attorney in our office works with all of our clients. So you may be seeing more faces, but just know that we do continue to work as a team. And even though you're not seeing me, I am working with those attorneys behind the scenes. Other than that, I just hope you all have a happy and safe 4th of July weekend, and happy 250th birthday to America. I hope everyone has a great time.
Thank you. Not just for the birthday wishes, but for your report. All right, moving on. Chad, you have some reports?
Yes, Council Mayor, thank you very much. To start off with, I wanted to talk about the 13th Street property. I've been working with Chad's firm and Lydia, and for a period of time, Jody as well. We've had a couple of attorneys helping us with this. And so the brief update on this is the city review of the property records, submitted documents, fence location, septic system, related access claims, and is substantially complete. The review included consultation with legal counsel, Clatsop County, the county surveyor's office, and state agencies. And the city's position remains this: no legally established beach, public trail, or public access route has been identified on the 13th Street. The property affected by the fence is privately owned. The additional documents submitted by Christy Gillis did not change the city's analysis regarding the kid fence. This was the stuff that came into us last week, and also the quick review of the things that we received from Deanna Mansell. The city has not identified that the fence blocks public property or a public access easement. Any remaining claims regarding private easements or private access rights would need to be pursued by private parties who hold those rights. The western boundary of the KID property extends to the ordinary high water mark. So up near the top, near the dunes. The statutory vegetation line is not a property ownership boundary and does not establish public access rights. The septic system is located east of KID's western property boundary and east of the statutory vegetation line, and was properly reviewed and permitted. The one issue the city is continuing to pursue separately is the beaches and dunes overlay zone vegetation removal violation. Legal counsel's draft ORCA response notes that while the review did not identify a legal issue with the fence or septic system, the review did identify a beaches and dunes overlay zone violation related to vegetation removal. Staff is continuing to handle that issue through the city's enforcement process, and a violation ticket has been delivered. My next step is to send 2 communications, one response to ORCA, Cameron LaFollette, and one factual response to Christy Gillis regarding the ownership and septic questions she continues to raise. Before sending those out, I provided the city council, I think, with a bit of an update to make sure that you had the opportunity to ask any questions. And so that's my report on 13th Street. Any questions that I can help field for you there? Okay. Yeah, we believe, next steps, if somebody, let me grab this note here real quick. So we are complete with the legal review. We went through all those state and local jurisdictions. For those who believe there are still unresolved property ownership, state ownership, or private easement issues, the appropriate next step is for the affected private parties to pursue those rights directly. That may include obtaining a survey, working with a title company, consulting their own attorney, or bringing a private legal action if they believe their private access or easement rights are being interfered with. The city will retain all of the submitted materials in the record. But we can't adjudicate private title disputes or private easement claims unless it's in a public right or city open interest or city enforcement issue is identified. So far, we have not identified any of those. So we're not saying that parties have no rights. The city is saying that we have not identified a public right or city enforcement issue beyond the beaches and things over the station violation that we already sent out. So I hope that clears that up, and I'll continue to update you with anything else that might come our way.
Okay.
Our attorneys worked on that quite a bit, and I'm not sure what the costs were on that, but I think it was upwards into a few thousand.
Definitely.
Benches. We got 3 benches installed, one at the end of South Ocean on the dunes and the Neocoxia right of way. That is completely installed and has the plaque attached to it. We also have a new bench near the tennis courts. If you've seen it tucked into the grass a little bit right off the sidewalk, that one has also been constructed and has the plaque attached to it. And then today I met the family that paid for the bench that's on the corner in front of the thank you, Heirloom Deli. I keep on saying grocery store. The Heirloom Deli. And those folks I met there today, and they were extremely happy with the outcome and like what they see. So now I'm currently working with 5 more people, and we'll continue that process. So now that we've got it down, it should go a little bit smoother.
Mm-hmm. What is Heirloom Deli? Where's it?
It's in the old grocery store.
Is that what they call that?
Yeah, they call it Heirloom Deli. He's got great sandwiches, and the potato salad is really good as well.
I never saw a name, and so I never.
Yeah, and good guy. He's going to be at the 4th of July celebration as well, doing some fun things in his place, as well as daughters and all those folks. So go there and spend some money and keep them around. Street dance ready to go. Working with Melissa Eddy. Thank goodness for her. She's doing a wonderful job. And we've got some other volunteers that are helping with her. So that'll start, I think it's 7 to 10. And we're all set up and ready to go. We'll be blocking the streets for that on Friday. So hope to see you all there. 4th of July, as reported, we're all ready to go. Lineup will start at 11. 10.
10:15, I think I saw.
Yeah, so people will start, getting in there. We're going to be blocking off the parking and things like that starting Thursday and Friday so that we can be prepared for Saturday. And so we've got a good plan with that. And of course, hot dogs at the fire station afterwards. And we've got t-shirts and things for sale as well to help support the volunteer firefighters. I've got a USPS update. I recently received an email from Mr. Ryan Chastain. So following my recent follow-up with Ryan regarding our outstanding questions and concern, UPS has provided me the following information. USPS confirmed they are no longer seeking a contractor to operate a local post office in Gearhart. USPS is no longer considering multiple cluster box unit locations throughout the community. The 2 options currently under consideration for residents who previously received free PO boxes are A, continued mail pickup at the Seaside Post Office, or B, 1 centralized cluster box unit location in Gearhart. USPS estimates there's approximately 330 paying PO box customers and 313 customers who previously received free PO boxes through the former Gearhart contract postal. USPS is evaluating whether paying PO box customers can permanently remain in the Seaside Post Office using the existing box capacity, allowing them to retain their current mailing addresses. If a centralized cluster box unit situation is selected in Gearhart, that's our decision, and that's the option that they're giving us. USPS estimates that we're going to probably put in between 20 and 22 cluster box units would be required. That would be required. USPS confirmed that any cluster box units installed would be owned and maintained by USPS. USPS indicated that parcel delivery is currently expected to continue to individual residences. That one confused me a little bit. And I haven't had a chance to get back to them about it, but I think what USPS is doing in part of their change of operations is beginning a parcel delivery service just to the home, not regular mail. Although that portion of the plan is still under review, according to Ryan Chester. I also raised concerns regarding reports that some residents' PO boxes were canceled after they allegedly did not receive renewal notices, resulting in mail being returned to the sender. USPS acknowledged the issue and indicated they would address it with the local office. That was the answer I got there. USPS also asked whether the city has identified a potential location should a centralized CBU site ultimately be selected. So they want to know from us whether or not we've picked out a location yet. And if so, I think they would like to get going on that. At this point, USPS indicates they're continuing to work towards a final decision. I'll keep the council informed as additional information becomes available. There's still a few questions hanging out there and I can't even tell you what they are right now, I'm sorry. But for them to respond to us for some other questions that I had. But that's the most recent update that I've got from the Postal Service.
So today in the mail, we got a letter asking for money for our post office box
Okay,
that has been waived before because we didn't have any other delivery.
My
option.
understanding is that's an accident.
That the letter that I picked up
My
today.
understanding of talking to them directly is that the system generates them at a global level, so they were flagging them and sending to people. Now, whether or not people had paid them, and I'm unclear the process in getting that money back, but they did say that people were receiving it, but I would talk to them because they could cancel your box just because of a technical. Okay, it's like a larger body that collects the money versus a local body that controls the box.
I'll send Ryan an email confirming that.
Can you also confirm or clarify the package delivery? Because when I had a post office box, they never brought any packages to my house. So I'm not understanding.
I just picked up a package this afternoon.
I don't get that.
Well, if they had originally told us in the work session that what that meant is that packages, what couldn't be held in the cluster box, because there would be so many, you would have to go to Seaside to pick them up. You would get like the slip originally, that's what they had said.
And he's mentioning delivery, so I'll get some clarification on that as well.
And remember, it's under review. It is not something you can put any money on.
So I'm gonna be looking seriously at pieces of property and reporting back to the council where we potentially could put these cluster box units if we so decide to go forward with that, so that you'll have some more information. You know, to put cluster boxes in that amount of cluster boxes, it'll take about a 30 by 45 foot parcel somewhere to place. So we're gonna have to discuss that, but again, they are no longer doing street delivery, USPS, all new neighborhoods are getting cluster boxes. And that's across the country. And so we're part of that, and it seems like they're also starting to work on a lot of the other smaller post offices. So stay tuned. I think post offices near us will start to probably lose theirs as well and have to go to this cluster box unit situation moving forward. So I'll get clarification on those two things. I'll begin working on some ideas of what we could do with the CBUs and then try to get this resolved as soon as possible. But we have a lot of options. So I'll figure that out.
I would just comment, I did have more than one person mention to me that they miss the community aspect of going to. It's a great opportunity to run into people, chat for a minute, etc. And
We had a
That's
really
been a
nice
common thing.
group of people that were attempting to, look at pieces of property that are next door to here at the city hall. They thought that they might be able to put together a nonprofit with volunteers to be able to run a post office so that we can have that kind of connection. USPS is not interested in that.
Do we have the option of putting some type of structure over the cluster boxes?
I think so. I think once they are on our property and we have control of it, we can make it look any way we want. I had a resident come up to me today, interested in raising money for two things, potentially. One of the things that they wanted to raise money for was that cluster box unit, shelter, if you will. Maybe it's some sort of a building, but it's something where people can come to, and stay out of the weather. And then the other thing that he mentioned to me today, which was just kind of off the cuff, but this is a guy that's been around for a long time, is like to actually work on raising money to again look at purchasing the Palmer Hanson property. But that's a project he's working on. He just asked me how the city would feel about that, and I said, well, I would talk to the council. We'd have to discuss that. But thought that was such a good idea that I'd like to see it move forward. So not sure where that's going to come. More to come. And my last update is Planning Commission memo. So the Planning Commission did not meet last week. We had a vacation that was in there and just a lack of agenda items. But moving forward, we're going to be keeping them pretty busy. We've got 3 things we're going to be working on, and I'll go into details with you more next month. But we're going to be looking at the state goal 5 cultural area compliance. Little changes are in there. And we're going to have to start working on that, and that will involve some of the Indian tribes and things like that for the bigger developments within Gearhart. So they will be considered moving forward. Beaches and dunes overlay cleanup. We do have some overlay issues, especially with the verbiage about the dune hazard line. That's the line in between the vegetation and the oceanfront build line. There's the dune hazard line that gives people permission or allowance to do some things out there as far as building goes. We want to clarify that before we have any attempts from folks that are interested in doing that. And then the third topic that they're going to be working on, at least in phase 1, is the state housing law compliance. All those rule changes that are coming in, we're going to have to update our code to do that. And so this is actually the first of 3 on a pretty large list. Garrett kind of deemed these the most important for legals, and so that's what we're going to be working on. And I'll report back to you again next month.
Any update on FEMA? Any clarification on the FEMA rules?
No, nothing's come in, and I think our work in there is solid. And we've been using those rules to work with people in those pieces of property. And it hasn't been a lot of work. Because there's never really been a lot of movement in there, but we're prepared and ready to work with you.
I thought that that housing task force meeting that Garrett attends as well, that the new state statutes didn't apply to us because of our size.
That's true about many of the statutes, and don't ask me which ones those are because I don't have them divided out, but some of them that are coming into, such as a different definition on clear and objective standards is important, and some other things that we're going to have to put into the subject. So I'm not all up on that, but Garrett's working with the Planning Commission, and we'll begin that process this month.
So how is he doing with the system development charges?
We talked about that today. We're going to look for a consultant. We have found that the system, the process is very arduous. It's going to take a lot of work. And so we're looking for consultants. And so we're going to start bringing those up and asking for requests for proposals for those consultants to help us through that issue, find out what the costs are going to be, and also work with them in the initial part on how to get through this process. Garrett has not gone through one of these yet, so he's doing some research on that now. I talked to him about it today, and we're going to report to the Planning Commission moving forward, and I'll update the council as well.
Good, because I thought he was working on it 2 months ago, is what was reported. And if we're not getting anywhere, It's another form of money.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find another form of money is gonna be brought up continually until we do have
Mhm.
money rolling in.
Gotcha.
Okay,
That's my update.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chad? All right, we have no visitors, public communications or comment.
All right.
No, we have those visitors. We don't have any
Oh,
agenda visitors.
okay,
We got you though.
okay, thank you.
You're on my list of people who want to speak.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone wishing to address the city council concerning items of interest not on the agenda may do so at this time. All remarks will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Requests to comment electronically must be submitted by email to the city recorder at info@cityofgerhart.com no later than 4 p.m. the day of the meeting. In-person attendees wishing to speak are required to sign in prior to the meeting. First person on my list is Deanna Mansell. Please state your name and your address.
Deanna Mansell, 2945 Highway 101 North, Gerhart. Did all of you receive the packet that I submitted a few days ago? Good.
Yes,
I urge you guys to read it, but I'll just very briefly condense what's in that packet. I've been researching 13th Street quite extensively. I want to bring up the fact that the state of Oregon, state parks got the deed to all of the tidelands fronting and abutting the Philip Gerhart DLC line. What I did with this in the last couple months is I've had a couple colleagues who helped me get deeds and recorded surveys from the mouth of the Nicanica River all the way to the north end of Gerhart Palisades, which is also the north boundary of the Gerhart DLC line. And we compiled all kinds of information, and we sent this to the Oregon State Parks, where they're having their real estate team review the information and determine where that state park boundary is. So we don't have any information on that right now. So it's premature for me to say one way or the other where that boundary is. So that is what we're doing there. But I was also looking at 13th Street and the access easement that Pacific Palisades had given to Kevin Kidd. And when I was comparing the map and the legal description that they had signed with Kevin Kidd, it did not match Pacific Palisades legal description that they got from Gerhart Park Company. And you know, there's a big discrepancy. They do not own any part of 13th Street. I had found through the research that in 1970, Gerhart Park, not Gerhart Park, but Hotel Gerhart did a non-exclusive ingress and non-exclusive ingress and egress easement for all the properties in that area. It was mainly for the condominium owners. So that roadway is 30 feet wide, and I was able to duplicate what the intention was. I pulled up all kinds of maps from like 1965 when the Pacific Palisades was first developed. that condominium was never in 13th Street. And yet the homeowners were asked to sign this access easement. And I told Christy Gillis that she needs to talk to the county surveyor and also the title insurance company, find out what needs to be done to correct that mistake. So she's working on that angle. She's yet to meet with all of the homeowners because, I mean, they're kind of on vacation, but they really need to see this information and know how to act on this. So that's basically what's in your packet. And, you know, you guys need to know this because it's rather concerning to me that 48 years of being a land surveyor, I have never ever seen a legal description or a map drawn in the manner it was and not going to the title insurance company and giving a report to confirm legal ownership of that strip of land. I've never ever encountered this before. So I've just, okay, I said, Christy, this is what I came up with. And I've worked at Tyfor and I did land surveying. So that's all I gotta say. So you guys review this, like to have this into the public record.
Okay, well, it is in public record because it's part of our packet, Deanna, and
Yeah.
thank you very much.
I thought you guys should have it now as this thing continues.
Right, and I gotta tell you, I am not a lawyer, land use lawyer, and it sounds to me like this is a land use lawyer private
Yeah,
affair.
but you go to the title insurance company and you go, hey, my insurance policy insured this property. And all of a sudden we find out that there's 30 feet of land that you don't own and you've signed an access easement. That kind of puts a cloud on your title, you know, so that's all I gotta say.
Okay. Thank you, Deanna.
Okay.
And honestly, if you find out something like this, I would go to a land use lawyer and.
Well, I have advised her and the HOA to do that because it's resolved in a court of law.
Right,
Where this could be corrected.
okay,
So
thank you.
I know that.
All right, you can let us know when you find something else out, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Shannon Smith. Please state your name and your address.
Shannon Smith, 774 Pacific Way. This one is awesome. We're lucky to have it. I am gonna key up on a couple of things. One, what Preston said about people wondering what the direction of the town is. And I'm gonna be the broken record again, saying way back when Gerhard had folks that had a vision for the future. I could go back and read the Gerhard Remembered book, and it's great to look at all their different ideas and things they put together. I think it's good to do that again for the next 100 years. I've been consulting and that for companies about when they want to get a new strategy with a new vision and a new future for their organization. Just saying, I think it's a worthwhile venture. I know it sounds airy-fairy, but it's really, it gets to the heart of how people love this place. And you want people to continue to love this place. Secondly, last time I gave you some nice trees, and I coincidentally this past month went to a wonderful event in Portland put on by a wonderful group of the East Coast called Homegrown National Parks. And a good gentleman named Douglas Tallamay, who's very famous throughout the US for biodiversity work and helping bring land back so birds and wildlife and natural spaces like Nicoxie Creek can continue to flourish in towns like ours. So this suggestion I have is that Gearhart explore and the Gearhart citizens explore becoming members in homegrown national parks. So imagine, well, who here's been to a national park in their lives? Did you like it? Pretty cool, huh? Well, their concept is right now they have 48,000 members across the United States, each person making their own yard. And imagine these days when you feel like you can't do anything on a national basis or even local basis sometimes, not personal guys. But to actually be able to do something that contributes to a big common good, especially things that help plants and animals and all of that flourish. I will add here, the other day at my place in front in the pool, we had a river otter there who sat around and swam around for a long time having great fish. He was quite animated, and I have movies of it, the video of it, etc. that I'll share. But anyway, just we have a great place here that's quite unique. So I am wanting to post on some of the social media sites the lead into Homegrown National Park. It's hgnp.org. They have a fabulous website. You can sign up your property just with what you have now and become part of the network. And as they get bigger, they'll be adding more things and features to show people how. They link you to people locally that are raising the native plants that the pollinators, bees and butterflies, etc. need, as well as then the kind of plants that will benefit your yard and beautify our place and contribute to making ours a causeway for, again, wildlife and different animals to go between here and then the next town. So it's a great concept. There's some people really enthusiastic about it. They also talk about pesticide use. And Monsanto, the decision this last Supreme Court that not restricting them. I personally know a golfer who died of the consequences of their pesticides. So it's a big deal, and unfortunately they're not being restricted, but we can make our own choices. There's lots of new pesticides that are natural and evaporate in the environment and don't damage the plants and animals and wildlife. So I wanted to continue with it to see if, again, we can hold a larger session, maybe give me 10 minutes of your valuable council time to actually explain homegrown national parks a little bit more, give people specific directions, and give people a chance to sign up, and even maybe have our town endorse that we want to be that kind of community that helps make that kind of getting together for our gardens and for supporting ourselves, have more natural spaces, make it happen. So I'd love to actually explore that with you further at a council meeting, but we have a little more time to get into it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I said very interesting.
Mhm.
I say around my property, that I endeavor to make it a park-like setting. Mostly I'm just trying to chop down stuff because it's all growing faster than I am.
Happens a lot.
It does.
Carrie and I could both have Smith National Park, but we'll have to duke it out about it. Who gets that moniker first? But maybe we'll.
I've already got it written on my door.
Oh. I'll do it. I'll do my old family name. How about that?
No, I don't care, really, honestly.
That's fine.
All right, so next up is written public comment, correspondence, acknowledgement. We have a letter from Christy Matzel, and she lost her cat to a coyote. We do not trap, we do not enforce what ODFW does. Anything that is with wildlife is their jurisdiction, and the city is not involved and will not be involved. The only thing we would do is write a letter to ODFW, as far as I'm concerned, and ask them to proceed as fast as they can. I don't know that they would come out and trap one coyote. But I certainly will write a letter in response to her cat.
I'd love to know where the neighborhood is.
Yeah, what's the location?
I can update you on a few things on this one if you like.
Please.
Please. Okay.
I'll be quick. So, yeah, I've been in contact with Mrs. Metzel. And very unfortunate, this was a very important pet to her, of course. And this happened at the end of, Five Heights. And your heart beat broke, somewhere near there. And she was really good about keeping the cat in. This particular day, the cat got out and the coyote didn't notice and, got the cat.
Do you know what time of day that happened?
I think it happened over the evening into the early morning, somewhere in there.
So at night.
Yeah,
And is that the south end or the north end of Pfeiffer?
North.
So-
near Pine Ridge Drive.
Really?
I hear them all the time. I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
go out with my cat. We don't let him go out at all.
The numbers seem to be up. They feel like they're up. Sir Pines is dealing with the same sort of situation. Back when I first moved here, 29 years ago, I remember skunks were huge. You could smell skunks throughout Deer Park for days and days and days on end. Well, coyotes moved in, got skunks and some of the other rabbits, and they seem to be growing. Deer population also seems to be growing up a little bit. Maybe not so much in this area, but just to the north. So with deer come coyotes. There are discussions, I've had discussions with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. They are talking to the state police as well, monitoring the situation. Trapping is not as easy as you would think with coyotes because there's a lot of bycatch, such as other people's dogs and cats.
How do you know which
And
coyote you're trapping?
Trapping to reduce the amount, if that's what you were going to do. So far, ODF&W is still in discussions with Ms. Metzel, and they're keeping the city involved.
Okay, well, then I'll hold off on a letter until such time as we have a reason.
I did send us our condolences about our cat, and I'll update you more as we need. But do keep your pets inside. Do keep them on a leash. This is also something that's happened to me at my house, where they're coming on my property and coming up to the deck and taking my wife. And just being very friendly. So it's a little different over the last couple of years, but see how it goes.
Would ODFW want to know where they're residing if we have some confirmation of that?
I'm sure that you can reach out to them and tell them that. And there's also we did do a blog post to remind people to be careful with their pets. Although this isn't a new situation. I mean, she was being very careful. It's still happening. There's also a reporting system that we came up with on our website. And if you do have a location where those coyotes are at, if you want to fill that in, put a coyote as the subject line, and then we'll make sure that gets forwarded.
Certain ones of them, and last 2 years ago, their pups, all liked a special fire department siren. So much so that they had their yippee skippy climb and would enter my yard to have a really great time of it. So I know exactly where they grew up from. And that means there's 3 pups this year that were reported now, from then they're big, so.
Right. But that thing is, people want them killed. They don't want them trapped and moved. They want them killed.
Right. She posted that on social media. Then
Okay.
Very clear.
Why
There
was
is
that
no
killed?
starting of weapons in the city of Deer Park.
Right.
We want to go there. Outside the city of Deerhart, that is more allowable depending on where you're at. So we just want to make sure, give our police a little shout out, say, please don't do that. They have to investigate.
Right. Okay, so, and in, final written correspondence, we have a letter from Nicole Steen. I believe that's it. And we need to think about appointing someone as a delegate to vote for the LOC.
I thought there was a couple different ways we could do this as well, Chief, is I can send the list that they came up with to all of the counselors, and you folks can vote on it and then assign a delegate to take that vote to LOC.
Right.
Chad,
Yeah.
This is actually on the September agenda. The reason why that correspondence is in there is because it's referencing where they can go to read more about everything rather than us printing it all.
So we'll send out that information, the links and all that, so that you can review it, put it together, and then in September we'll collect that information.
Okay.
And the delegate can send it out.
So we are all going to vote on it.
No, we're all gonna choose and one person votes, not all. It's one vote per city.
Correct. So we'll take your averages, you'll take your selections.
We'll get the
That's what the most important.
Wait.
We'll give you all the issues, you vote on your issues, and then Polina will vote on her issues. We'll
Right.
take the top
Then you're
out of
gonna-
all of that, consolidate it, give it to
So
the
we are
delegate.
all going to sort of vote on stuff. That's what I meant.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you meant.
Okay, you're gonna lead the way on that, right?
We'll get you some information.
It'll look familiar when it comes to you in the email. You guys have done this where we do the survey and you're voting on the priorities. I think it's every other year that we do this.
Right.
Thank you, Kristen.
Okay, we have no late written correspondence, do we? All right, moving on.
That was the end, just what we have
Just
here.
the end.
Yeah. All right, moving on to ordinance and resolutions.
Sorry.
Chad, would you do the synopsis?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So the Gearhart City Council is into the third year of its goal to revisit annual water rate increases during budget season. Last year's budget process determined a 10% increase was needed in order to keep future sustainability on track. The FY 26-27 budget process proposed and approved a 10% increase once again. Attached is resolution 1017, where approval will implement the new rates. A draft customer information sheet for water billing statements is also included for informational purposes. So below you have your council options. Staff does recommend approval of resolution 1017. There is a recommended motion down below. A legal analysis is the resolution adjusts the base water rates, keeps the water conservation block pricing intervals in place, and repeals resolution 1008. To ease system proration and customer confusion, it will take effect in the first billing cycle for year 26-27 on July 21st. See the financial analysis, Gearhart's 2023 water rate study identified goals and processes surrounding water rates that staff and council discussed for future implementation. A reminder of the goals and updates on status. This is our goal. Begin transferring $40,000 annually from the water fund to the water reserve account. This has been done for 24-25, 25-26, and most recently 26-27. Second is consider rate increases annually to cover rising costs and achieve a 90-day operating expense reserves in 3 to 5 years. If you remember from Justine's report. Close, not quite there. Increase the water reserve account to fund future projects, including exploring grants and low interest loan opportunities. Reported labor, materials, services, CPI, COLA, and all of that council during the 26-27 budget season process, and continue water conservation projects, including better leak detection, updated meter installations, and promoting resident water conservation efforts. And then while replacing meters is ongoing, the mass meter replacement project for electronic ready has been completed. So we've got all of our meters, maybe with the exception of a few, like a couple here and there. We've got all of the meters in. So after this holiday season, we're going to begin testing that system, making sure it works. And in the meantime, we're going to go with our old water reading system. This has already proved to be a benefit for our customers. We're able to do water reads with much greater detail and give them a resolution as to what's actually happening with their water leaks, times and dates and things. And it's been very helpful. So that's where we're at with the water rates. You have your recommended motion and the resolution attached with the water rate for the customer, the water rate sheet. Any questions for us?
Yes. Justine, I can't remember on our budget, did we budget money for buying new meters?
We did. That's one of there were three major reasons why we are continuing the increases. One is personnel costs keep going up. But the capital outlay, one of the things is we increased that budget to $60,000, I think, so that we could do the meter replacement every year, so that within the 7 to 10 year period, we were replacing all of our meters on a continuous cycle, because we had not been doing that. We had to do 2 huge catch-up projects. So that is part of the process and
Okay.
part of the rate increase. And we also want to keep the transfers going. So we want to, in theory, with rate increases, do the meter replacement out of the operating budget, not keep pulling it from the reserve fund. Because we keep pulling it from the reserve fund because we don't have enough money in the operating fund. Because we're trying to meet all the criteria. We want to have 3 months operating as our ending fund balance, which we are close, but we're not there. We want to meet the personnel costs. We want to meet our capital outlay costs.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I don't recall in our budget.
We
did.
did. Correct.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Move to approve resolution 1017, a resolution adjusting water rates in the city of Gerhart.
By 10% for the fiscal year 2026, 27? Sure. Anyone second?
Second.
Any discussion from anyone? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Alana, what's your concern?
Well, we already discussed the NCLC and it sounds like we need to have a work session at some point. And the post office box letter I received today.
Okay. Sharon?
Yeah, my concern, not that anything can be done about it this year, is that high tide on July 4th, I believe is around 4 AM. So all the garbage that is potentially within the high tides area is gonna be swept out into the ocean.
Okay. I'll write a letter and see if we can change that next year.
Change the high tide, yeah. You know, I mean,
It's gonna change 3 hours, because wasn't high tide last year at 7?
Yes,
So that's kind of weird.
7 or 8. Yeah, I remember because they were gonna start at 8 and it was already in tide.
yeah, so unless we get out there, like when they're putting all the campfires out, unless we get out there and pick up the trash in the pitch dark, or
Right.
Be on the water line and
Not
when
supposed to
you
be.
go out there.
That's supposed to say.
Okay, Preston.
There's a huge current that comes from Tillamook Head, sweeps in on the beach there, gets on up to about G Street in Gerhart. And then goes back out again, and that's the reason why the clam beds in Seaside and the clam beds in the south end of Gerhart are so prolific. So all your garbage is gonna wind up on Seaside Beach.
Depends on the wind, too.
Well, northwest.
Not always.
Okay.
It's sunny, so probably will be from tomorrow.
Good there. Well, I mean, it's,
Chad, do you know, does Seaside pick up the garbage off the beach? Off their beach?
They may have some volunteers, but I don't know that they do it at night. And, I haven't seen a solo volunteer come in, to place here in Gerhart. We will be putting out a lot of, I think, 10 to 14 extra garbage cans. Somewhere near there, around town at trailheads. And then the state is also putting the large garbage can at the 10th Street Beach approach.
Okay.
But there's not a nobody stepped up to solve this year, so we've got that gap, but there's always people that will be cleaning up, so we've made the garbage receptacles available.
The Earhart Association put it in their piece they put out today.
Oh, okay. That they're gonna be cleaning up? Or,
Well, they invited everybody to go out there. It didn't really say who was in charge, just said go out there and pick up stuff.
gotcha.
I don't think it had the time.
We need to blow in the dark stairs.
It is.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor Council.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out.
My cat wants it.